Sophie Interveld, Vice Chair of ALDE. Clearly a very sensitive, very important briefing today concerning the alleged extraordinary rendition, detention and torture of terrorism suspects on EU soil by the CIA. There is a great deal of evidence that this took place, first of all. Would you agree?
Yes, I would. The first revelations were made almost 10 years ago to the day, in November 2005. And so many new facts have emerged ever since. And most recently, we had the report of the US Senate documenting in great detail the let's say, the misdeeds of the CIA. I mean, let's call them criminal acts. So I don't think there's a big question mark over whether it happened. Some details may be missing. It may be possible that not all details can be proven in court, but we know what happened. The big missing piece now is accountability. I mean, we are still 10 years after the first revelations in a situation of impunity. There's not been any kind of accountability other than maybe the US Senate report, which was probably a first step. And I think, if we want to be credible as a liberal democracy, as the rule of law, then we have to be able to look at ourselves critically and bring those who are responsible to justice. That's what we do, and that's what sets us apart from a dictatorship.
You spoke very passionately, very articulately during the briefing. You clearly feel very strongly about it. Now, how strongly and how strongly do you feel that it's likely that the Council will pursue these alleged perpetrators unflinchingly? Will the Council be unflinching?
Well, so far the Council's been silent. They've simply been ignoring this. And it's remarkable because, as I said, even the US Senate has shown us what accountability should look like. So I don't see why Europe cannot do its own bit of the accountability exercise. It doesn't really matter how big the likelihood is that the Council is going to do what it has to do. For me, I will never stop pursuing this because that's the essence of democracy. Two things that I find striking. One is today, as we speak, a report is being published about the downing of the airplane last year over the Crimea, where 300 people died, 200 people from my country. And these people are desperately waiting for the truth, but also for justice to be done. And so, I'm even more aware today of how important that is. And there are many more people who are waiting for justice to be done. The victims and the relatives and the friends of the CIA operations. And the second thing is that, today our enemy number one is President Assad of Syria. Well, 10 years ago, as we know now, he was one of our closest allies in this whole program. We actually, took people to Syria to have them subject to what they called enhanced interrogation, which is torture, we know. So, how can it be that we are now saying, well, this guy has to go because he's enemy of the state number one, and 10 years ago he was our ally in this criminal program? And that we just gloss over it. We say, oh, well, that was then, this is now. No, that is not justice. Justice means that even 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road, 30 years down the road if necessary, justice will be done and people will be held to account.